Welcome to another episode of the Global Game Pod, where we focus on one thing and one thing only, and that's football.
What a goal from Ronaldo! It is absolutely magnificent! It is David Beckham!
With Coach Rudy and friends, this is Global Game Pod.
Yo, what's happening, people? Welcome to another episode of the Global Game Pod, brought to you by CKB Interiors. You know the drill. Hit their website up if you need a kitchen or a bedroom. For today's episode, I brought it back home. I brought it back to the manor, brought it back to where I was raised a little bit. And I'm joined by, it's a pleasure having him, the manager of AC Milano, our Sunday League side, in the Manor Park, Forest Gate, East Ham, all them sides basically, East London. Manager Shabaz, but I know him as Gazza. So if you hear me call him Gaz, that's the reason, because that's what we know him as. Welcome to the episode, guys.
Thanks for having me on. First time like this, so take it easy.
we always take it easy. I mean, the point of the podcast is to basically just highlight some of the good things that people all across the nation are doing, especially in my home area, man. You know, I just want to put people on a map a little bit.
Yeah, it's a good thing, good stuff you're doing there, man. Seeing you do it from the beginning.
Yeah.
Kind of in and out of the journey, but always kept like on track of what you're doing. You've done very good stuff, man. Keep it up.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's the aim. So that's why we don't want to take our foot off the gas. So I thought, while we got this little break, I'll just start a little podcast thing. You know, we're not chasing viewers, but anyone who does watch, we obviously appreciate it. It's nice to get to know some of the local heroes, as I like to call them, and that's what brings you in. So, while we started, just in a couple of sentences, just tell us your journey, how you got to being the AC Milano manager, basically.
Okay. It was a bit of a weird one, actually. I randomly got a phone call out of the blue from Talha, and he said, I know you've played for AC Milano before, and I know you've left on kind of bad terms because there was a situation previously. I'm sure we'll go into that further later on. And he goes, how do you feel about managing with me? I was like, but there's only 3 weeks of pre-season. I said, you know what? Come, let's go for it. Give it a go. I've always wanted to do it. My ambition actually, perhaps training kids one day. So I thought, let me try this out, local lads. But I had to set a few foundations. So went into the chairman's office and I said, previously I've been at the club, it's been run this way, that way. But if I'm taking over, I have to have total control. Just trusting what I'm doing. And literally that's how the journey started.
And this was what, 2 seasons ago, right?
Yeah, 2 seasons ago. So this is my second season.
The second season of Manager AC Milano. AC Milano is a club that's been around for how long now?
Oh, it says on the badge 93. It was been established apparently.
Wow, so that's a long time.
Yeah.
And I think it's fair to say that it's the first time in all them years that they're finally getting the publicity that maybe they've missed out on in the past.
100%. Not just them. It's interesting because I was watching one of your podcasts yesterday, and you mentioned London APSA. So that's just another team as well. But we can name 3-4 other teams in East London that should be out there doing the best for their community and not giving up. And all it is, laying foundations, the rest will build.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think you're right. It is first time.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really want to speak on APSA again because I think I think I've spoken enough on APSA. But yeah, I love everyone in the community that does all these events. You got to remember that these guys, they started off a long time ago, and I think they were all trying to be pioneers in their trade in a sense. And they all went on separate journeys, and there were a lot of politics involved back then, more so than they are now. I mean, now I think it's fair to say that we're more of a tight-knit community, whereas back then it was a rivalry-based industry. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, it's fair to say. Yeah, as generations you move on, and you have to evolve with the times, right?
Yeah, 100%, man, 100%.
But one thing I always abide by is always have your principles about you, always.
And it's funny you mention that because I want to dive into some of these principles because obviously you said when you got the job at AC Milano, you went to speak to the chairman. And you wanted to control the club. But what did you mean by that, though? What were these principles that you wanted to lay down?
So this is where I can explain when I was previously at the club playing. I was years into the game now, last few seasons that I played football. We reached a semi-final with the B team. That semi-final, every single player got dropped except one person, and they brought the first team into play. And guess what ended up happening? They still lost. For me, I said I'll never go back from there. I said if I ever took this job or any job, I'll have to be a certain way. Chairman, it's his club. He does what he wants. He could have said to me, no. I said to him straight, look, you have to do this properly. Leave me in charge. Anytime you need to speak to me, you can speak to me. Your opinion probably doesn't matter to me, and that's no disrespect.
Yeah.
I think it's the way I want to build it up from what I've seen how your club is run. And I believe now, a year and a half in, I think now he's seeing what I meant. And I didn't mean it in a patronizing way, as in I want it to be my club. I'm treating it as if it is mine. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, I get that. I'm
treating it like it's my own, in my own free time. Don't get paid for it. So I want to do the best I can, even more so. But the biggest inspiration behind it was when I grew up, I had two managers, Jakob Uncle and Motti. He's the local ref now. They helped us get off the streets by picking us up, taking us for stuff like that. And then when that disappeared, everyone went off the rails, so to speak. So I didn't want players that are going to be bought in from all of them, what they can offer me, and just took it from there. So I clearly said A team stays as A team, B, even if I have to play with 9 men on one Sunday, I still don't want no member from the A team because I'm building the club on principles and foundations that I believe are correct. And it's literally, that's it. Took it from there, and he kind of left me to the job. But
yeah, that's good you mentioned Yakawanku and you mentioned Motti. I mean, for people who don't know, these guys have been doing kids football long before we were kids. And Yakawanku still involved with AC Milano even now. So credit to those guys for doing what they did for the younger generation. I mean, I personally was never like fully active with the setup that they had there. But obviously, being part of the community and playing football, you always heard about them. You've always heard about that side of football as well. And I think their journey was epic in itself. And now it's us younger generation who have picked it up a little bit. And it's people like yourself, because you mentioned right at the beginning that you have a dream one day of maybe coaching youngsters, but for you've jumped straight into the men's game. How has that been? Because I know from experience of my Sunday football that a lot of the time it's your friends who are your players.
Yeah.
How do you deal with that? I mean, I had ways of dealing with it, but how do you deal with that?
To be fair, I think, bang on is, like I said, if you're keeping it within the community, you're going to know everyone. They're going to know you. So you have to create that barrier now. Manager, player, forget the friendship. I'm here in my free time. I'm not here for you to just go to a local park, turn up 11 players, have a kickabout. I'll take my kids to do that. I'm not here for that purpose. If I want to run a football team, I'm going to run a football team. And I made that clear from day one. Obviously, people push boundaries. It is what it is. But you can't let that break you down as a person. You have to be very strong. So I put a few things out there, such as a fine pot.
Okay.
Such as discipline, whereas if you're stupid, for example, you're swearing abusively at your managers, coaches, players, no matter who it is, manager, player, coaches, said it works for everyone. It works exactly the same for everyone. There's a fine. It's either a £10 fine or £20 fine. And a game suspension. So that was just one part. The fine part was 50p for every minute you're late.
Okay.
And we ended up raising, I think, from December all the way to April, £170. Gave that to charity.
So how do we look at that? Do we look at that as a good thing? The players done so for charity, or do we look at that bit of ill discipline from your boys there.
I see that as the learning curve because that was last season.
Okay, fair enough.
This season, I had to pull it out, but I took it away within the first 4 or 5 weeks because there was no need for it.
Yeah.
Time, understand what's what. We do have certain incidents, but obviously I don't want to dwell in that. That stays within.
Of course.
But then that fan pot's still there for that money to go into. No club's perfect. You do have things that go on in the background, right?
Of course, 100%.
But like I said, that fan pot's still there, and that money at the end of this season still go to charity.
So how was that for you? Like in terms of your friends that play at the club, I mean, there must be a fair few of them. How did they find the transition? Because obviously the transition for you was quite simple. I'm the manager, you're the players, deal with it, my way or no way. But what about for the players? Did that affect friendships, or did they kind of like buy into it?
They've bought into it. To be fair, they have bought into it, but it's not easy by any means. It's not. It takes a lot of hard work. Patience is a big thing, massive. Luckily, I have a lot of patience, but yeah, they bought into it. We had ups and downs along the journey. I'm still friends with everyone. Everyone still calls me up literally every other day or sends me a message. Like, it's something for me personally. It's something very good that I feel about myself, that I've created bonds like this. So when I say to the boys every game, this is more than football. We're more than a football club. It's for a reason. I will share that with them in our award ceremony because I can go into a lot more there. But it's these bonds that we've created are massive. And the boys that I was close with at the beginning, I would say I probably created them sort of bonds with the boys that have come in recently and over the last 12, 18 months. So it's kudos to the new boys as well. Like, you have to, it works 2 ways, right?
Yeah, of course.
All my effort, but they have to give it back as well, just to understand it.
And I think that's a point that many people won't understand, is that Sunday League football can sometimes be scrutinized. I think it might be the right word. Like, it's just it's a pub league, really. It was what people will say. It's a pub league. No one really takes it serious. It's whatever, boys show up and do what they got to do and then go home. You understand? For us guys, for you guys especially, like I said, you've been running since 1993, and from 1993 till about 2019 or 2018, before you take over, would it be fair to say that AC Milano was a little bit of a pub team, or am I being a bit harsh there? I'm not putting out. I'm asking a question. I don't want anyone to think that Rudy's called us a pub team.
Nah, they weren't a pub team. They had good players. They did have good players. They had foundations. But it's all about stepping up levels. But at the same time, I get what you mean, but I wouldn't say pub team. I would say sometimes, like on the odd season, people just turning up to play with their boys, turning up at 10, 25, 5 minutes before kickoff. That's a joke. That's not how you run a football team. Do you think, okay, you just said it's a joke and it's not how you run a football team, but do you think there's anything wrong at that level, at this level that you're at? And I'm not taking anything away from the level, but I have to ask it because I'm sitting on this side of the questions. And it's, do you think that sometimes at that level, players take it a bit too seriously, or should they take it more seriously? Depends on the player. It depends on how the club is managed. For me, I expect all my players to take it seriously. You turning up and not giving it your all, and I've got a 30-man squad, you're not playing for the next month because that actually stinks. They should take it seriously, because if I am and I'm putting that effort in with my team behind the scenes, you should be putting that effort in, because I would love to be in their position playing football again, especially under this limelight and the potential now that the club has. Like, they should make the most of it.
And that's the thing. Like, we were touching on it when I sat there with Zoe. We were touching on these little things about clubs and ambitions and where we should be, and everyone always talks about football players. You know, it's well documented why they're Asian footballers, or why they're this, or why they're that. And we can talk about so many different variations. I don't want to dive into that. But as a club, we looked at London APSA and we were like, okay, they got to a certain level and then it started to fizzle. Like, age is going to catch up everyone. No one's invincible, you understand? But it's like, when I look at AC Milano, sometimes I have a big sense of disappointment as well. I mean, I know you heard the APSA side. Now we're talking about the Milano side of it. There's a massive sense of disappointment because this potential that you're talking about, personally, I believe it's been there from day one. They should be playing a lot higher than what they are, and their successes should be a lot more than what they are. I mean, I know it's taken gradual. This isn't a negativity on someone, your part or your management team or your players. I don't think it's anything to do with that. I think it's more how the club was run previously, because it's been a staggered journey. If I'm correct, it's basically been a couple of highs, a lot of lows, and then we're back to the same level playing field from where we first started. Do you see where I'm coming from? It's like, do you find that was a bit hard for you that you came into a club with no real foundation?
I did definitely, but it allowed me to build my own foundation, so I could build what I want, how I want, and structure it the way I want to going forward. But I get what you mean about previously. Look at the history. What they've won 2 trophies in the last, what is it, 20-something years? Is that good enough? It's not.
I mean, you can class it as trophies. I'm not too phased about trophies personally. Development progression is massive for me. I mean, if you give me no trophies, but you give me 10 pros, or you give me 10 boys who have gone on to bigger and better things, then I might look at that as a success. But here we're not looking at anyone that's gone up personally. The club's not gone up, and the trophies, like you said. So is it more a case of, even though it says 1993 on the badge, I think, is it fair to say that the real work started when you came in? Not disregarding what's happened previously. Obviously, you can't do that, and I don't want to do that. But like I said to you, how I've explained it, I'm sure you can understand what my thought process is going on here. Whether I've come out with it correctly or not, I don't know. Don't really care personally, because my opinion at the end of the day. And you have to understand, like, growing up, AC Milano again is another club that could have done so much more in terms of us youth, because I'll bring myself into that bracket with yourself and your management team and the management team I've got at R77. I can just imagine for 1 second if we were all under one umbrella.
Yeah, it would be brilliant. For me personally, that's the way it should be. But unfortunately, it's not. But going back to my point before about the trophies, is you mentioned it how there's no players coming through. But back then, up until maybe even when I took over, no one cared. It was just about trophies.
Yeah.
Mentality. Do you get what I'm saying? The old school mentality is always going to be that certain way. However, now us youngsters coming through, or not so young anymore, but coming through the newer generation, we need to make them understand. It's about, all right, if you're not going to win trophies, it's how you conduct yourself as players and human beings. First of all, this is what I tell my boys. Your reputation of your club. Because you can have 3, 4, 5, 6 trophies, but having fights every week means nothing. All that hard work goes down the drain because you've got idiots within the club. That is not running a football club. But for me, if I can get now, I've got 17-year-olds, 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds leading my line on Sundays. Anyone them get scouted or anything, I'll happily take them with me. The boys to come with me as well and support them. Because that's what we're trying to create, is like that brotherhood to say, if you got one bit of success, brilliant, we're going to come and support you all the way.
Yeah, I think that's massively important. Not just as an Asian community, but as a community in general, whatever community you're from. I think it's massively important that you support the success of others rather than wait to pounce on their failures. Because I think that is the old school generation, that we're going to wait here. Let's see what he's getting up to. We're going to wait for him to fail. And then we'll sit there and be like, so you thought you were better than us, or you thought you were this, or you thought. And I think there's still some people out there with that same mentality. Don't get twisted. It's not gone. Even boys from our generation, you'll still find people like that out there. But I think for us, we've become a bit more hard-centered. Our core's a little bit harder, where it's like, well, whatever, mate. We'll just carry on doing what we're doing, and you worry about what you're doing. If we fail, we fail. But we're going to fail trying rather than not try at all. Do you understand? And I think that's the case for you, because obviously I knew of you before you took over. You got the job at Milano, and not always in a positive light, by the way. I have to be honest about it. And that's not because of you personally. That's because of sometimes your surroundings and the teams that you played for.
Yep.
They weren't known for playing football, as I like to call it. Yeah, it was what you described earlier on. Like, it could get a bit violent or sticky or a bit messy in a sense, and it was what it was. Do you understand that? But I don't think you know somebody until you actually know them. And I think it was when we had that first conversation when you took over and you said, "Rude, look, I'm doing this," and I was like, you know what, kudos, well done to you. Go and do your best at it, and I wish you nothing but success, because at the end of the day, like AC Milano, what people don't realize it's actually a quite close club to me. Like Kanki, who's the chairman at the club, was actually my first ever coach. I don't think anyone knows that.
I didn't know that.
It was my first ever coach in terms of when I was playing. So I was a youngster. I must have been like 11, 12 years old. And Kanki was my first ever coach. So you know how you have that affiliation with Yakubanko and Moti? I have the same affiliation to Kanki. Kanki brought me to football. I've got nothing but good words to say about Kanki. But he was old school. And he's old school. And he knows that. I'll tell him that he's gonna watch this. So I know he's gonna see it. And I personally genuinely believe that. But I don't think he took advantage of youngsters. I really don't think he took advantage. Because you gotta remember, I was on the scene, in the coaching scene at 16, 17 years old. So we're talking about 17-year-old players. I was there as a 17-year-old. I was up for anybody. Anybody could have had me at their disposal. It wasn't a case of I had an affiliation somewhere or somewhere not. Someone who just gave me a good foundation and said to me, "Here you go and run your ship. We support your ideas." Today, R77 could have been Milano, could have been APSA, could have been anything. I'm not saying it's just Kanki or just APSA. All these clubs in the community, but no one, and this is what I'm trying to say, the trend was no one wanted to take a chance on a kid. It's truth. No one wanted to give a kid and say, "Here's full control, let's see what you got in your locker." Whereas now you see a 16, 17-year-old and you'll be like, "What ideas you got? Talk to me." Because they're closer to the younger generation than we are. We have to sometimes accept, I have to accept that I'm a 31-year-old sometimes. I still think like a 17-year-old, but I have to sometimes accept that, I am actually 31. And even though I'm not oblivious to what's going on in the world, the 16-year-old knows better. Let's see what ideas he's got. So do you sometimes bounce off your players in terms of that? Like when you're going to play games, when you're going to, you understand football. That's why you're managing a football team. But do you sometimes feel like, wait, I might need something here from a player. He might actually understand the situation a little bit better. And you take those ideas, or are you stubborn in yourself and say, "No, it's my way, that's it"?
100%. That's the way I work. I have constant communication with my players. Match day, I'll speak to them. Ideas bounce off. But forget even match day. I speak to my boys so much. In that first season, I dedicated disgusting amount of hours every week. Forget about the talking about training, match day preparations, warm-ups, all of that. Just one-to-one time with my boys, constantly messaging them, phone conversations. I had to jump into their heads and understand what they're thinking and make them understand how I think. Not just in terms of footballing terms, but outside of football. What's going on in their life? How can I help them? What do we need to do in terms of making an agreement? Like if someone's, for example, working on the other side of London but has to attend training, we have private things like that we discuss with people, our players, and it's just between us. Yeah. But tactically, 100%. I'm not stupid. I don't know everything. I make mistakes. I have done. Right, I've been unbeaten this season in the league, but believe me, I've made some big mistakes along the way, and I've learned from them. I'm not one of them guys. I will put my hands up straight away and say, "You know what? We won 3-0. Should have been 7-8 if I changed the formation or made a sub a bit earlier or done something different. Or we lost the game. You know what, boys? I'm partly to blame for that." I said it. It's nothing.
I think that's a great point you make in terms of taking ownership of your mistakes. And we're all human beings. We're all going to make mistakes, and there's no denying that. But I have to dive in on this a little bit, and I have to touch it. And it's probably better to talk to a manager of a current Sunday League side, where, okay, I have to try and put this the most polite and nice way possibly, because I'm not taking anything away from managers at Sunday League or Saturday League, but in reality, a manager's job is to pick a team. You have a certain way of playing, a style, I call it, and then on a Sunday, you expect your boys to implement that style and play to what you've trained, for example, yeah? Do we have a culture in Sunday League football that stems from the Premier League, for example, where the scrutiny lies on the manager. And has that culture come down and siphoned its way down to the Sunday League level, where it's almost an excuse or a cop out for players when they ain't up to par, that they can all of a sudden point their fingers basically at the manager and say, well, it was your mistakes, it was your substitutions. Let's understand one thing here. Yeah, you understand what I'm saying? No?
Yeah, 100%.
That Premier League players can afford to do that because there's 80,000, for example, there's 80,000 fans watching who are all opinionated. The players have their own opinions. The manager is one and his management team is a few. And they go out and they're trying to win the game of football because there's millions and millions and millions of pounds involved in it. So there always has to be a scapegoat at that level. Now, we're talking about a level where players pay to play.
Yep.
And that same mentality exists in Sunday League as well, where if you say 4-4-2 to a player. Now, I was like that. When I was younger, I was like, it's 4-4-2. Now we're going to go 4-3-3. Now we're going to... in reality, it makes no difference if the players are just playing their game the way they're supposed to play. You do understand? That's what I'm trying to say. That sometimes the players put the blame on you, when in reality, it's them. If 8 of them had just played 8 out of 10, then you would have won the game, whatever the formation was.
Yeah, I get what you mean, but I don't take it like that.
Mm.
In terms of formations, training, and setting the team up to play in a certain way, I set our team up to play according to how we should be playing, but you have to be wise as well. Look at who's playing in front of you. So I do my research. But pointing the finger, that's never going to go away. For me, I think from last season to this season, the boys now understand, because you can tell by their reactions. Yeah, they might still point fingers time to time, but it's nowhere near as much as last season.
Mm.
But that was expected from me. That I get it. That's always going to happen. Like I said, got thick skin. I can deal with that. If you're going to point the finger, let's have a conversation about it. Like, privately, away from everyone. I do that with my boys. Same way I would never blame any player for a mistake on the pitch.
Yeah.
Especially, I don't expect any of the other players to do the same. What it is, you play 90 minutes, you keep your morals about you on the pitch for that time, and you play football with a smile on your face. And this season has been massive for us in terms of exposure, the quality of the football we've been playing, grinding out performances, learning from our losses. Every time we've lost, we've gone unbeaten for about 7-8 games. And we've only really lost, cup competitions against pretty decent teams.
Yeah. And that's what I wanted to dive on. Like the next 2 points are on that. Is the first one is you've gone one level up in terms of you've now become a YouTube site. How's that? How is it dealing with that, man?
It's not too bad, only because of the way we're set up. So if I'm going to do something, I'm going to make sure I have a team behind it.
Yeah.
It was just a random conversation after one of the games. We were chilling near the changing rooms, and one of my mates come out of it. You all probably know him, Big H.
Yeah.
Cam. And I said to him, all right, we can have this conversation away from everyone and see what we can do. And you know what? Credit to him. Well, it's been 4, maybe 5 months. We've hit 1K subs. We've hit over 30,000 hours. I think it is something stupid. And forget all of that as well. We're just getting that right, the exposure that the club should be getting and been getting all them years ago.
100%.
YouTube as well. I'm not even disrespecting YouTube. YouTube, we could have done it then because it's been around for ages, right? But there's various other platforms as well. I'm not great with these kind of, social media, because I only have just my phone to call my missus. I leave that down to them. And you know what? Just let them crack on. If there's any concerns, you come back to me. And it's not just one person. There's about 3, 4 of them that actually run the social media side. So, yeah. Going up.
Massive credit to them. Massive credit to them, those guys behind the scenes who are doing the work, because I know that's not easy. Running socials, doing all of it, it's not easy at all. But, credit to them for plugging at it and doing it and putting out the content there, win or lose. I think that's very important, that even when you lose, the content still goes out. because that's part and parcel of the human cycle. We're going to win some, we're going to lose some, and it's always nice to reflect back and watch things back, especially for yourself. That must be brilliant to have game footage that you can watch back and see where the mistakes are made. And that's my bread and butter right now at the moment. That's what I'm doing. I do opposition analysis, so I love that side of the game, and you can learn so much from watching back performances that you miss live. But how is it in terms of the YouTube market? How is it dealing with YouTube players? Because that's what they are now. They're YouTube players. How is it dealing with them when the camera's on?
It's not difficult at all, to be fair. I don't think they've let it get to them in that sense. We're not anywhere near where we should be, because it's a journey, right? And
Of course.
we started it. It's how they're going to be maybe, let's say, next season now. I think right now it's too early to even go into that, because right now they're just my players, and I hope they don't change. I hope they just remember it's just a camera, and it's just to get exposure for them. The only way you get exposure is by showing your footballing ability and showing how you conduct yourself on and off the pitch. It's all right, you can have a laugh before the game, after the game.
Of course.
But from the time you arrive to get changed, from the time I have my team talk after in the change room, that's my time. You need to be screwed on for that time. Before and after, you do what you like. Obviously, I want you to still be safe and not do no madness, but I'm not in control of that after that.
So, I think that's good. It's good that he hasn't changed them, and it's good that, like you said, that they don't even realize that the camera's there. Everyone's gonna have a laugh and banter, because laughing and banter is what sells. Let's be honest. You put a camera in front of me, and if it ain't comedy and it's serious, it's just what it is. I don't think there's a middle ground. I think you're either funny or you're not. And if you're not funny, you can be serious. And if serious works, then brilliant. And if funny works, then brilliant. I mean, you look at the YouTube teams out there. Beatties, big up to them. SE Dons, big up to them. Rising Ballers, big up to them. They're all doing their thing. Do you understand? And I respect their hustle. And it's good to see for me that not only are you local Asian club has gone on to that scene when they could have come under a lot of scrutiny for doing so. There's a lot of haters out there, bro. There's a lot of haters out there
100%.
Who probably will talk and do talk a lot of nonsense. But the fact that you're persevering and the team behind you, especially, and I think this is a little moment is for that team there itself that is doing the work. Well done to them, and continue to keep doing it, because it's not only good to watch for myself, because I don't have the time to come out and physically watch games and stuff like that, which I would love to do. It's brilliant for me to just catch up on week-to-week basis just to watch it back. Look, if I'm going to spend half an hour watching a video, I may as well be about the community and what the local club is doing, what the local boys are doing. And without even realizing, I feel like I have a better relationship with your players and yourself because of YouTube than I ever did before that. And that's not to say I'm going to go out my way and call this person or call that person and do this or do that. No, that's not what I'm saying. But just I feel like I know them a bit better because they're in front of me. I can see them. How important is that exposure for us as an Asian community? Not just AC Milano, but as an Asian community. How important is it for us to be out there and have these highlights and have people talking about us, good or bad?
It is very good, because it just shows that we're human. Just our video the other week, we could have been on the wrong end of it against Evil Heart, where we got spat on, kicked at, slapped at. We could have reacted and it would have been completely different. But like I said, credit to my boys. From this time last year, could have been very different. But with the camera there, it just shows people could have made up so many stories, and they did along the way, but the evidence is there. And the boys know that as well. And everyone should be aware. We're living in the 21st century now. Like, come on. There's cameras everywhere, camera phones. You should just be behaving the right way anyway. So, yeah.
I think camera or no camera, though, just a little bit of human decency would not go amiss in this day and age. You get me?
Exactly.
I watched that video back. Obviously, I heard about it way before, but obviously I watched it back, and I don't think there's much to say. It speaks for itself. Do you understand? And it's just sad knowing that stuff like that still actually happens right now. Do you get me? But I'm not going to put it down to the football club. I'm going to put it down to that one individual who's an idiot. and just leave it as that, really, because there will always be idiotic individuals, and that, I don't think, because like you could have one player one day who does something in the heat of the moment, maybe even out of character, and I don't think that would be a fair reflection on the work that you've done. I mean, I'm sure you wouldn't want to be judged on that one person's thing.
Right,
And the same way, I think if we're going to be positive about things, then we should be positive about everything. And we saw the idiot, so let's put him to the side. But in terms of the game, and I thought it was going well. I'm just gutted that I didn't get to finish. But that's my second point. Coming to the second point, which is you were top of the league, you were unbeaten, you were in a cup final, and now the league gets null and voided, expunged, whatever they want to call it. How do you take something like that?
Gutted. One word, just gutted, man. It still hasn't sunk in properly yet. Still holding like some sort of hope that something's gonna happen. Like FA might change their mind. The petition's going around, but it doesn't seem like it, does it?
Nah, I don't think so.
Unfortunately, I just wanted to mention you were saying about the geezer from Evil Heart. To be fair, that guy, like you said, I think it was heat of the moment. I spoke to him before the game. Very nice lad. Like you said, heat of the moment though. It just
yeah, I mean, people can become out of character sometimes.
Yeah,
it's football at the end of the day. Things can happen. These things can happen. And at the end of the day, look, here's how I look at it on a football pitch is we've all been on a football pitch. We all know what happens on a football pitch, Sometimes lines are crossed in any way. It doesn't have to be racial or it doesn't have to be, anything like that. Someone might swear at someone's mum who may have passed away the week before. You don't know what's going on in someone's life. Do you understand? So people can cross many lines, but most times, most footballers are just nice people who just want to play the game and go home. But these things can happen because it's almost like that tribal mentality, isn't it? That, I'm here to rep my colors and it is what it is. If someone kicked out one of your players in front of you, I'm sure you would have a reaction to it. But that reaction is not going to define who you are. It's just I reacted to something in that moment and, I put my hands up afterwards and whatever, we carry on.
You know what? I said to the boys as well, like, words, you just give it, you have to take it. But actions, you live by your actions and that's it. But sorry to go off topic.
Nah, that's fine. That's fine.
Top of the league, yeah, man, gutted. Unbeaten. Literally, a game away from securing the title because we were 10 points clear. And to be honest, we probably didn't even need to play that game because South Ilford and Leytonstone had to play each other. Had Leytonstone won, that's it. It would have been done mathematically. But yeah, man, proper gutted. Hopefully, we can play the final in September, October. Don't know how that's going to work. But yeah,
I mean that's a bummer. But then, thinking a little bit more less serious, being a United fan, which you are, right?
Yeah.
All right. Let's just say that they set a precedent now, yeah? That it's null and void, that's it. You don't get in the league title, it's done. AC Milano won't win the league. Should the same rule apply in the Premier League?
100%. Even if it wasn't Liverpool, to be fair, that's how much it's hurt me, to be fair. It's happened to me, so why does it matter? What level? You should still avoid the Premiership as well, Championship.
I think it comes down to
Liverpool.
Nah, I think kind of. Look, I think it comes down to the money at the end of the day. I think that's what all this boils down to when it comes to the big boys. If it like they've done with the lower leagues, when the money's not that important, they're gonna take the safest route out, and which is null and void it. It's a level playing field for everyone, not just. I know like you're saying, it's one game away for you, but the team at the bottom who are potentially about to get relegated, they've just been given a reprieve in an essence. The guys fighting for whatever they were fighting for. I don't know what they're fighting for in that league, but maybe top 2 go up or top 3 go up, whatever it is. It would have been so hard to push it either way. Like, do you understand? Like, you get relegated, you don't get relegated, and that's the thing. I don't know how they're gonna do. I'm really interested in seeing what they're gonna do in the Premier League, but I don't know how they're gonna do it.
Hopefully, don't null and void though, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's the fair.
Every day.
That's the fairest way to do this, which is null and void it. I think we should use the Champions League point system for the teams in the Champions League next season, which automatically means Man United are back in. Nah, to be honest, I'm just watching it with close. I'm just watching it as closely as anybody else, and I see what they do. Because we're undecided right now in the National League as well. We ain't got a clue what's going on. So I think we just have to wait and see. You know, I think there's more important things than football right now, innit? So
100%.
what can we do? But yeah, just finishing this off, because it's been great talk. But finishing off with what's the future hold for you? As obviously you're right now you're currently the manager at AC Milano. You've obviously mentioned right at the beginning, I'm going right all the way to the back, to the beginning of the conversation where you said the dream is one day to manage kids. I don't know if you know, but I run a kids football section.
We had this conversation last season, remember? It was 2 weeks too late.
I was a couple of weeks late. I tried to nick you last season. And believe you me, I don't care who's watching. I'll be trying again this season. I will be playing devil's advocate in your ear, because I like young coaches. I like coaches who want to develop, and I like coaches who want to help the youngsters out. I don't feel like I'm stepping on anybody's toes. And that's why I choose not to have a Sunday League side and a men's side, because I don't want to step on anyone's toes. I'd rather develop the boys up to 16, 17 years old, and then give them to guys like yourself and say to them that now you have a look at them and you take care of the rest of the development, if they haven't already gone on to bigger and better things. Because at the end of the day, I want them to play football for as long as they can. And then once they realize football isn't for them, then come and coach for us, basically. That's a journey that I want to create for these youngsters, that they don't just lose touch of football. They don't just play up to the 16 and that's it, they're done with it. There's a journey there, there's Sunday football that you guys provide. And like we were saying, the collabs are better than the individuals. So it would just be like, because we're collabing anyway, it would just be like you're just moving sideways and coming taking over. But what is your future plans, bro? What's your future plans?
To be honest, in life in general, I just take it a day at a time. So with my footballing as well, I haven't really thought of it too much. I feel like I need a break. Because the last 2 years have been like full on, literally a lot of hours in. And if what I want to do at the beginning of the season for next season is in my mind, I would probably be building this club to the next 2 levels, because moving up to Division 1, not just improving in the social media, the coaches, filling all them vacancies now. I want to get youngsters in coaching as well, but it's also the playing style, the players. Do a whole trials this season. I've got 40 people already interested in this next season. So I think just, you know what, I'm just going to chill out the next few weeks with my family and just weigh it all up. But I am AC Milano now, all the way. I'm waiting on the verdict of, obviously, the cup final, the league still.
Yeah.
But
I think that's done there.
the season's not over. Once the season's over, I would like to literally chill out, not think about football. Because I'm still working in the background right now. It's not over. I'm still working. I'm building on next season. Whether I'm there or not, I don't know. No one knows. Only God knows. But yeah, my long-term ambition definitely is kids. Maybe one day coaching at a higher level. If I do take time out, I definitely want to do my badges. Yeah. Because that's a must. But yeah, I think I love the game too much, so I'm not too sure.
Nice. I think I've had many of those weeks or moments, I call them, where you feel like, yeah, that's it now. I need a break now. I need a break. And it's times like this when you're away from the game and it's not of your own fruition. I just want to be back on the football field, man. I miss it. I miss it every single day, bro. They don't understand.
Yeah, I get what you mean, but like I said, I'm still working at the moment. I'm still dealing with the club as it's my own still. So talking to my coaches, saying I need another 2 coaches come in, someone experienced, someone that's young, that's going to be up and coming, looking at players for next season, sorting out targets, updating my club rules. There's loads going on still at the moment. Charities.
Yeah, I mean, we've all got that. We've all got the stuff going on, you know, as a chairman.
Just the football field is different.
Yeah, it's just being out on the ground and coaching and, you know, the winning and the losing and the learning, and I'm missing it, man. So hopefully we can get back on there soon. Hopefully we can conclude whatever this season is and start getting ready for next season, because all the stuff that you just said, I have to think about tenfold, because I've got like 8 teams I have to think about. And one of them has your name on it. So still waiting for you to bloody decide. Nah, I mean, you're AC Milano. Yeah, I respect that. I respect anyone who's at these clubs. But yeah, my door's always open. You know, like because you've got players, and you know what? This is the thing. I think for players, it's season by season. There's no guarantee they're going to be there. They're not on contracts. You understand? So some players might just wake up one morning and think, you know what, I don't really want to play Sunday League football anymore. And if that's the case, then you want to coach and you want to coach youngsters, then that's why clubs like myself are here. That we want to bring these youngsters in, and that's why the collab is so important. That you're building the future. That hopefully we can make pros from our community. But then at the same time, if they don't quite make the pro grade, then they can come into clubs like yourself, and we're just filtering through as one unit rather than kids are in lumber, coaches are in lumber, players are in lumber. It's like a full circle unit going on. You know, why can't we have 100 youth teams in the community? Why can't we have coaches that are ex-players of AC Milano? Why can't we have that? Why can't we have that unity going on? So maybe there's another conversation to be had here, a proper sit down to be had, and to discuss how we can bring the two into one, maybe, you know?
Yeah, for me, it's a bit difficult. I don't own the club, but what you're doing is, for me, is amazing. I would love to be in a situation where, for example, I've got a Sunday League team, I've got under 16s, under 14s, so varies from all different ages, have an academy as well. That I would love to do perhaps one day, but for now, it's not my club. Do you get what I mean? Even though I run it like it's my own. But yeah, I definitely get what you mean, because I would work with anyone and everyone. That's always been my way. I don't care about your past. You come in, if we work, we work. If we don't, we shake hands and we just go our own journey.
Always.
Yeah, but always for anyone, everyone. Everyone deserves an opportunity. No one's perfect. I'm not, certainly not, but we will try.
Yeah, 100%. And I think what you're doing is massively great. Keep doing the work that you're doing. Don't quit football ever, because we need people like yourself in the community, always being in the community. Whether you take those steps up the ladder, up the coaching ladder, or you don't, but as long as stay within the community at least, because I think we owe it to our community a little bit. Because I feel like we were let down in a little while. I know we've praised all these guys coming up, but I feel like we were let down in the sense where opportunities didn't come our way. And there's a whole heap of players who, with opportunity, with some guidance, could have gone and done some very, very, very big things.
Yeah.
So it's
I get
our
what you
job
mean
now.
about the community. I get what you mean about the community. Sorry to cut you off.
That's fine.
We do also to the community, but the community has to give back as well.
100%.
Like you said, like we could all be working together. Why are we not? So, like I said, it works both ways, doesn't it? We're giving a lot back right now, but are we actually receiving the same amount back? Have you ever asked us?
I think we'll see from the views of this video, innit? If we get 50 views, then yeah, forget about it.
No, I'm sure when we put it on Milano TV as well, your platform as well, I'm sure we'll smash it, don't we?
Yeah, 100%. And that's the thing, like, you ain't got social media, so I am gonna put Milano's social media down there. So I'll put the Insta page there, alongside R77s. So you guys, you wanna get to know a bit more about AC Milano, make sure you give them a follow, give them a shout if you're plus 16 years old and you want an opportunity. They've got trials coming up. Make sure you sign up for those trials whenever they are, after this pandemic is gone and done and dusted, and we can carry on and resume football again. So make sure you go down to the trials, show guys what you got, because it will give you an opportunity. Like you just said, it will give you an opportunity. And if you're younger than 16 years old and you happen to be watching this, and R77's here as well, you know, we have our yearly trials coming up soon as well. So it's a nice little plug for trials right now.
I was going to say, I do take 16-year-olds as well.
Yeah.
16, 15. Regardless of the age, color, race, it means nothing. Come through on your ability, take you away from the streets, whatever it is, we'll figure something out, I'm sure. But yourselves as well, anyone under 16. Yeah, that's the talent you got there as well. So
yeah, I mean, we're just trying our bit, you know. We carry on trying, you carry on doing what you're doing. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you on here. I know this is your first time doing something like this. I think for myself personally, if people are watching this and I've said something that might have upset them or offended them, it may have. I don't know. Then I apologize. That's not my intention. I'm just trying to speak the truth out here, and this is my opinions at the end of the day. If anybody wants to discuss anything further, then you know where I am. And if you want to come on the show and discuss it, then let's do it, man. No problem. I got no problem. I'm trying to get hold of someone from APSA to cover it here. Do you understand? If we need to get Kanki on here, let's get him on here as well.
Yeah, get him on there as well. Yeah. Do you know what it is? This opportunity, I appreciate it. So I'm grateful for that. But just having this opportunity to talk and have an honest conversation, you just don't have it in our community. People are afraid to voice their opinion or just speak their mind. Nothing wrong with it. You're always going to get scrutinized for what you do. So, yeah, kudos to you. Well done. Keep up the good work as well, Rudy.
100%. Now, pleasure having you on here, bro. Remember, guys, like, share, subscribe, hit up Milano, hit up R77. Keep watching. We got big episodes coming. Enjoy this one, and we'll be back in a few days' time for another episode. Stay safe and peace. Thank you very much, guys.
Nice one.